Get ready for shock. There's something Jungkook has been hiding all this time about his super luxurious house that he never told the camera about. No one is prepared for this truth, not even the most loyal army. The world of K-pop that has been filled with glamour, smiles on stage, and fan service turns out to hold secrets that are much deeper, more personal, and more surprising than one can imagine. This time, Jungkook, the golden magne of BTS, became the center of a whirlpool of speculation and controversy after the astonishing facts about his super luxury house priced at more than $300 billion were finally revealed to the public. But wait a minute, that number is just the surface of an iceberg. Behind the nominal that stunned the public, hidden the reason that made goosebumps. Why did Jungkook choose that house? Who really pushed him? And what is hidden from everyone, including the members of BTS themselves? The army, who thought they knew everything about Jungkook, is now forced to question everything. The mansion, which has only been glimpsed behind Instagram filters and live waivers, is full of stories of heartache, inner conflict, and decisions involving not only money, but also past wounds, personal ambitions, and someone from Jungkook's past whose name is forbidden in the media. Starting from the real estate financial report in the Itaewon area, Seoul, it was found that property transactions worth 27 billion won, equivalent to more than 300 billion Indonesian rupiah, on behalf of Jungkook. As the public began to get busy debating the design of its private paradise-like interior, something much deeper began to be smelled by the South Korean underground media. Why would a 20-year-old idol buy such a big house? Why did he suddenly move in quietly, without a single official upload from Big Hit or statement from the other BTS members? And why did Taehyung throw such a cold comment that makes ARMY wonder to this day? The news that had been considered mere rumors began to come true. Jungkook bought the house not out of necessity, not because of lifestyle. The house is not just a dwelling, it is a symbol of something much more complex. And when an inside source from BTS's neighborhood started leaking that Jungkook never got a good night's sleep before the house officially became his, everything changed. It's no longer about money. It's about the wound. It's about revenge that never ends. And it's also about abandoned love. The house, according to the leaks of an anonymous architect who was once hired for his renovation project, had hidden rooms that were not contained in the official plans. When asked about its function, he simply said, "That place was not made for anyone to see." Even more suspiciously, since the house was completely renovated, Jungkook refused all offers of variety shows or magazine coverage that wanted to enter his house. And the most surprising? None of the BTS members were ever seen visiting there, except once, and that left behind an argument that is said to have never been resolved until now. Taehyung once said in a live broadcast, "Everyone has a secret place. But if the place is too expensive for its own secrets, then it's not a place to live, it's a prison." That statement drove the army crazy. Is that an allusion to Jungkook? Does V know something that the public does not know? Is the 300 billion Indonesian rupiah house really Jungkook's property? Or was it just bought in his name to cover the tracks of someone who actually lived there? We will disassemble everything from the architecture of houses that are too defensive for an artist to the psychological history of Jungkook, which has never been explored in depth. We will explore fact after fact, dissecting emotions, connecting the dots of clues that have been scattered in BTS songs, and Jungkook's facial expressions during concerts, and his breathing pauses when asked about home. And most surprisingly, we will be looking back at Jungkook's mysterious messages on social media that were once taken for granted, but now feel too honest to be taken for granted. This is the story of the most expensive house in BTS's career history. But it's also a story of choices based on fears, old loves, and dreams that can never be fully achieved. This story will change the way you look at Jungkook not as an idol, but as a human being looking for a home. It all started earlier than we thought. It didn't start when Jungkook signed the house purchase documents, nor when black cars drove in and out of the elite Itaewon area in the early hours of the morning while covering his license plate with black plastic. This story, if we're honest, began long before Jungkook became a superstar. It could even start from when he was still a little Jungkook who only knew one thing: hiding feelings is easier than revealing them. Itaewon is not just a location. It's a symbol. Seoul's most international area, where elites gather, diplomats pass by, and where secrets aren't leaked, they're paid to be forgotten. Jungkook's choice to settle there was no coincidence. It's a decision with layers of meaning that can only be understood if we understand who exactly he's trying to protect or hide. When news of the 300 billion Indonesian rupiah house broke, Many media only focused on numbers and photos of building facades that leaked to the public. But they missed one important thing: the time of purchase. Jungkook bought the house at the quietest time of his life, right after BTS's final concert in Busan, when speculation about BTS's hiatus began to spread, and when for the first time, the cameras were no longer following their every move. In that silence, Jungkook took a big step. And no, he did not consult the management of HYB. In fact, according to one of the agency's former staff, the purchase was kept secret to such an extent that HYB's CEO found out only a week later. Why is it so secret? What is so important that Jungkook is willing to hide it from everyone, including Taehyung, the person he once called his second home, in front of ARMY while live? Their relationship that once seemed so solid suddenly began to crack. Not dramatically, but slowly, quietly. They still smile in front of the camera, still greet each other at concerts, but their eyes are no longer looking for each other. And the public began to feel those strange vibrations. Sources close to their circle divulged that V had visited Jungkook's new home unannounced. It was the only time a BTS member was seen entering the house. But strangely, just 20 minutes later, Taehyung came out with a grim face and without a word, went straight to his car. No hugs, no smiles, no funny uploads as usual. A few days later, V posted a mysterious line: "Sometimes, the house you built to heal yourself hurts you even more." ARMY divided. Some tried to defend Jungkook. Others suspected that the house was not just a matter of property, but of protection. Protection from whom? Or from what? The biggest and most jarring speculation comes from a theory that has only been whispered in the fanatical community. Jungkook bought the house for someone. Not for himself, not for the family, but for a figure from the past who is never acknowledged, never mentioned, yet whose existence is so strongly felt in every work he creates. Listen to the song "Still With You." Listen to his breathing on the bridge. That's no ordinary song. It's not a song for fans. It was a letter. A letter to the one person who once promised not to leave him. And when the letter was never returned, Jungkook chose the most extreme way to remember: to build a house that could not be abandoned. It is said that the house had one room that was never used, but was always cleaned up. No one ever entered, but the hired maid confessed that every morning she was asked to replace the flowers in the room with fresh ones. There is no furniture, only frameless paintings on the walls and an old piano in the corner of the room. The same piano that Jungkook used to play solo when he was a trainee. Why is the room still there? For whom? And who is such a big house waiting for? While the world is busy admiring its marble interiors, wide glass windows, and private rooftop pool, no one knows that in its basement, there is a private studio that is not connected to the internet, has no signal, and can only be entered with a fingerprint. Even his personal assistant was denied access. Some underground musicians whom Jungkook collaborated with revealed that they were asked to sign NDA, non-disclosure agreement,